Hello children, welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today I am here to explain you about equilibrium, the class 10 topic, the continuation of the previous topic. So let us know what is equilibrium, what are the conditions for an equilibrium. Right, we shall move to the topic now. Equilibrium. So I have come with a small flow chart where you people can remember easily. Equilibrium where the single force acts or the multiple forces acts, the net resultant force becomes 0, then only we can say that a body is in equilibrium. So when a single force acts on a body, it produces the translational motion. If the body is free to move, and the single force acts on a body, then it produces a rotational motion. Children, please try to understand. If only a single force, if only one force in one particular direction is acting on a body, then it produces the translational motion. And if the body is pivoted at a point and if it is ready to move, then if the force acts on the body, it produces the rotational motion. So this all the translational and rotational motion, that is if a single force acts. So there are few cases where the multiple forces, 2 or more forces acts on a body. Then children, it doesn't mean that if the 2 or more forces act on the body should be in motion or the body should be at rest. If the body does not change the state of rest or linear motion, why the body does not change the state of rest or the linear motion in spite of more forces acting on a body? Because the net resultant force is 0. The net resultant, that is the resultant of all forces acting on a body, is 0. Yes. Now we shall go next topic. If 2 or more forces acts on a body, if 2 or more forces are acting on a particular body, in that case, if 2 or more forces acts on a body, it produces that the body do not change the state of rest or linear motion. In spite of producing 2 or more forces on a body, when does the body does not change the state of rest or motion of a body? If the resultant of all the forces is 0. If the resultant of all the forces is 0, children, what do you mean by the net force is 0, the resultant force is 0? Suppose you are pulling it with the force, and with the same force I am also pulling this pen this side. Will the pen move now? No. Suppose you are pulling with the 10 newtons of magnitude, I am also pulling with the 10 newtons of magnitude. Will this pen move? No. So that net resultant force becomes 0 in that case. So here the two forces, here the many forces are acting. In spite of that, the body is not changing the state of rest. So when the resultant force is 0, then the body does not change the state of rest or the linear motion. In that case, it is translational or linear equilibrium. It is nothing but call it as an translational or linear equilibrium. Let us see once again. Now we will go from bottom to top. Translational or linear equilibrium is produced. When does it produces? When the net force is 0. What do you mean by net force? If the resultant of all the forces, positives and negatives, east side, west side, north, south, if all the forces acting on a body becomes 0, then it produces the translational or vibrational motion, and in that case the body does not change the state of rest or the linear motion. Now next case, as we have seen in the previous class, in the previous session, that the body do not change the rotational state of a body. I told you, like if it is a fixed and if it is ready to move, it is ready to move. It does not change the rotational state of a body. When does it does not change the rotational state of a body? If again the algebraic sum of all the forces about a fixed point is 0. That is, if the net moment of force is 0, then it is called as an rotational equilibrium. I hope you have understood, children. Now let us come from here. A body produces the rotational equilibrium if the net moment of force acting on a body is 0. When does the net moment of force acting on a body become 0? If the algebraic sum of the moments of all the forces about a fixed point is 0, then the rotational state of the body does not change. Children, here we had a question in the ICSE board. Define equilibrium and state the conditions of the equilibrium. Here in this we have the definition of the equilibrium and we even have the conditions for equilibrium. So we have the question here, define equilibrium. It was asked in the board, ICSE class 10, define equilibrium, state the conditions for a body to be in equilibrium. We had this type of question. Now what is equilibrium, children? How can you define the equilibrium here? How can we define equilibrium? We have the information, children, here. Definition of equilibrium: when the two or more forces acts on a body, it produces no change in the state of rest or the linear motion or in the rotational state of motion is defined as equilibrium. I repeat the definition of the equilibrium. Here you have the so much information. The definition of the equilibrium: when two or more forces acts on a body, produces no change in the state of rest or the rotational state of a motion of a body is said to be in equilibrium. That is the definition of equilibrium. Then next, let us go to the next part of the question. State the conditions for a body to be in equilibrium. It is very important 2 marks question. State the conditions. It is very important 2 marks question. Please pay attention to this. So now we have the answer even to this question here. So what are the 2 conditions? If is nothing but a condition. Even in mathematics you might have studied if clause. If anywhere, even in English also if is a condition, and maths also it is a condition. So everywhere it is a condition. So what are the conditions? So here if the resultant of all the forces acting on a body is 0, the first point. If the algebraic sum of moments of all the forces about a fixed point acting on a body is 0. So these are the 2 conditions. These are the 2 conditions for a body to be in equilibrium. Children, I hope you have understood the definition of the equilibrium and the conditions for an equilibrium. Right? Good. We shall move to the next one. Now let us go for the kinds of equilibrium. The kinds of equilibrium. We have 2 basic kinds of equilibrium, the static equilibrium and the dynamic equilibrium. So static equilibrium, it means when a force is applied and if there is no change in the state of rest of a body is said to be the static equilibrium. So first let us discuss about the static equilibrium. When there is no change in the state of the rest after the application of the force is nothing but call it as in static equilibrium. It means where the net force is equal to 0, when the net resultant force is equal to 0. Here I can give you an example. Suppose, children, if I place a book or something, a box, I am holding a box in my hand. The weight of the box is acting in the downward direction. The weight of the box is acting in the downward direction. There is some other force. There is some other force which is exactly acting in the opposite direction. There is other force is acting in the opposite direction. So here the net resultant force becomes 0. So let me explain that example once again here. When I hold something in my hand, the weight of the object is acting vertically downwards. So it is acting downwards, means it is not falling here. Now which is that? What is that force again balancing it not to fall? It is the force of reaction exerted by my hand on the book or on the box. So which is nothing but call it as a static equilibrium. So you can give any number of example, a book lying on a table, any number of example. You can give the example of beam balance. So this is the static equilibrium, where in spite of applying the force, the body remains in its state of rest. Why does the body remains in its state of rest? Because there is other force which is acting opposite to the applied force. Right. Next, the dynamic equilibrium. The dynamic equilibrium is after the application of the two or more forces, there is no change in the state of motion. It means the net force is 0. What, madam? Force is 0, but there is motion. How is it possible? Yes, your question is absolutely correct. Force is, your doubt is correct. Force is 0, and what you heard is also correct. The force is 0, but the body is in the motion. How is it possible? Now, let us consider that a body is moving with a constant velocity. Children, you might have studied in the class 9 when a body is moving with constant velocity, acceleration is 0. When a body is moving with constant velocity, acceleration is 0. Acceleration is 0 according to the Newton's second law of motion, F is equal to ma. If we substitute the acceleration 0, we will be getting force is 0. So if a body is moving with a constant velocity, acceleration is 0. If acceleration is 0, force is 0, but the body is in the state of motion. Let me give an example so that you can understand. Best example you can take is raindrops. Raindrops. So when the raindrops are falling, the weight of the body is acting downwards. The weight of the body is acting downwards. What is that force which is acting in the opposite direction, which is making its velocity constant? This is nothing but the upthrust and the frictional force of air. So here these two forces these two forces are equal and they act in the opposite direction. Therefore, the body moves with the constant motion. The body remains tense in the state of the motion. Understood, children? These are the two different types of equilibrium. Yes, next we shall continue with the principle of moments, children, which is very important. Again, in the principle of the moments, we shall start the discussion with when several forces acts on a body, the net force is equal to 0. Children, here when the net force is 0, it means the net moment of force is 0. The net moment of force is 0. Net moment of force is 0. It means the forces acting in the different directions, the forces acting in the different directions are equal in magnitude, and the resultant force is equal to 0. Here in this case, we will be having the clockwise moments and the anti-clockwise moments. Anti-clockwise moments are always taken as positive, and clockwise moments are taken as negative. Now, principle of moments. In the principle of moments says that when several forces acting on a body, the net moment of force becomes 0. So what is the principle of moments here? The principle of moments says that the sum of clockwise moments must be equal to sum of anti-clockwise moments. Sum of clockwise moments is equal to sum of anti-clockwise moments. Let me give you an example so that you can understand. A physical balance. If you take a physical balance or a balance, what happens, children? Suppose like when you hold a balance in this way, it starts tilting clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise. So it starts tilting, no, clockwise, anti-clockwise, it moves. Even if you take the seesaw, it tilts clockwise, anti-clockwise, the movements will take place. So when the sum of the clockwise moments are equal to sum of the anti-clockwise moments, then it holds the principle of moments. Children, we have a simple formula here where we have a few numericals on this. So let me tell you here. Let us consider a balance, a weight W2, here a weight W1. Let us consider this as length L1, this as length L2. So according to the principle of moments, the clockwise moments, so which is clockwise here? The clockwise, which is the clockwise here? The clock moves in this way, So what is clockwise here? It is W2. W2 is going anti-clockwise. W1 is moving in this way. Here you can see the direction W1. So according to the principle of moments, W1 L1 is equal to W2 L2. So this formula we will be using to solve a few numericals based on the principle of moments. Now we shall see the few examples, few numericals on the principle of moments, which they have given in the ICSE board, right. So we shall go with a few numericals. This is the question given in the 2012. A boy of mass 30 kg is sitting at a distance of 2 meters from the middle of the seesaw. Where should a boy of 40 kg sit so as to balance the seesaw? Let us try to solve this. Let us first put it in the form of a diagram. How to put it in the form of a diagram, children? Here, let us take a seesaw. Here it is the fulcrum. At 2 meters distance, a girl of mass 30 kg is sitting. Sorry, a boy of mass 30 kg is sitting. Now, where should the boy of 40 kg should sit here? Where should the boy of 40 kg should sit here? Obviously, on the other side he should sit. So 40 kg. Let us consider this distance as x, because where should he sit? So we don't know where should he sit. So this is given as. Now it is very easy for us. We know that since it is balanced, so as to balance. If it is a balance, then the net moment of force is 0. If the net moment of force is 0, it means anti-clockwise moments is equal to the clockwise moments, So anti-clockwise moments, it is anti-clockwise 30 multiplied by 2 is equal to 40 multiplied by x. So if you solve, you will get x is equal to 1.5 meters. So this is the answer. Understood, children? We will see one more example. Yes, children, the next example. In the given diagram, at what point 10 kg of mass should be placed to balance the ruler? So this is what the 100 centimeter or 1 meter ruler is given. A 5 kg of mass is suspended at a distance of 10 centimeters from the beginning. Now the question is, at what point the 10 kg should be suspended? This 10 kg obviously the other side of the fulcrum, 10 kg it should be suspended. So where it should be suspended, this distance you have to find out. Let us consider this distance as x. Now children, what is this distance here? At what distance it is? 40 centimeter. So now you can just proceed, like since it is balanced, the net moment of force becomes 0. Therefore, anti-clockwise moments is equal to clockwise moments. So, anti-clockwise moments, it is 5 into 40 is equal to x into 10, which implies x is equal to 5 ones are 5 twos are 2 ones are 2 20s are. So, x is equal to 20 centimeter. We got x is equal to 20 centimeter, right. So, that is okay. But what is our question, children? At which place on the ruler what is the position, like at which exact point it is placed? So, you are not supposed to write the answer as 20, you are supposed to write the answer as at 70 centimeter, 50 plus 20. Is it clear? Generally, like some of the questions are asked in the board on the mass of the ruler. Children, here you have to remember that always the mass of the ruler will be on the midpoint. Suppose if you take 100 centimeter, the mass of the ruler or the fulcrum will be at 50 centimeter. So, now let us see a few numericals on the mass of the ruler. Yes, children, this is the next question which is asked on the mass of the ruler in the ICSE board 2017. A uniform half meter ruler balances horizontally on a knife edge at 29 centimeter mark when a weight of 20 gram force is suspended from one end. So, what is the weight of the half meter ruler? First, let us try to draw the diagram representation. A uniform half meter ruler balances horizontally on a knife edge. So, it is 0, it is 50 because it is a half meter ruler and it is balanced at 29 centimeters. Mark when a weight of 20 gram force, let us consider that 20 gram force is suspended here. What is the weight of the half meter ruler? You have to find the mass of it. So, let us consider like here the mass of it. So, this is 29 centimeters. So, this is 50 minus 29, you can take it 50 minus 29. Now, you can apply the principle of moments. W1 L1 clockwise moments is equal to anti-clockwise moments. So, 20 multiplied by 29 is equal to, we have m here, m of 50 minus 29, and with this you can find out the m. I hope you have understood, children. So, this is how we have the number of questions on the mass of the ruler. So, this is the end of the first unit in the chapter of the force, and this is all about the equilibrium. In the next video, I will come up with the next topic of the force, which is the center of gravity. The second part of this unit is center of gravity. We shall deal in the next class. So, bye bye. Take care, children.